What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today, guys, I want to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of unexpected, but kind of a little bit of gripes I have with Yu-Gi-Oh!, especially modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, especially comes with the advanced format. Not more as in how the game plays or how fast it is, like most other Yu-Gi boomers do, because I find it to be like annoying and cringe at most times. Because honestly, I genuinely, since coming back to the game, have enjoyed the pace Yu-Gi-Oh! Plays. I enjoy most of the interactions of the game. I think the game is like not looking through rose-tinted glasses, looking back to how it used to be. I think it's far more enjoyable. I like the archetypal system. I like the different engines you can combine together. I like the art of the majority of the new cards. I just like everything mostly about the game. I think links are a problem. That's another video for another time. But what I want to talk about today is like the problem with prices when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, like, if you're somebody who wants to get back in Yu-Gi-Oh! And you're like, I want to try the modern format, you've played online, you've understood, you played Master Duel, you played like on Dueling Nexus, Dueling Book, anything like that, and you actually enjoy the new way the game plays like I do, you're like, man, I'd like to get, the actual physical copies and go to locals and play, because this game's really fun, because I think it genuinely is fun. I think the game's interactions are great. I think the lack of resources, so you can play any card you can't want, like as long as the conditions are met, are fine. I think the game just overall is very enjoyable. The problem with the game, there's two major ones. It's the Tier 0 format, which I think we're in with Ryzeal and Fiendsmith, along with Malice, which I don't play the meta very much. Just because mainly, which is because of the big topics I want to talk about, card prices. We talk about Pokemon scalpers and the prices of Pokemon cards nowadays, which that's another video for another time. But Pokemon prices are the cycle Pokemon's going in card wise. It's insane what's happening over there, but it does affect Yu-Gi-Oh! Too. Yu-Gi has always been touted as one of the most expensive card games to get into, at least competitively, at a competitive standpoint, because dear lord, if say you want to get back into the game now and you want to play the most meta deck, which is arguably Malice or Ryzeal, if you want to build cards just for the extenders alone, which would be EXT, Ryzeal, or any of them, I think one EXT Ryzeal costs like $21, and you need 3 of these in a deck. Granted, it doesn't get hit on the next ban list, but 3. So that's like on one variation of one card in your deck, that's going to cost you $63, and that's not counting shipping. You go on YGO Pro and you look at these deck profiles, how much they're worth. A lot of these people put like $600. I've seen decks go up to $1,500. It's insane to play competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! And not even win anything except a mat, some sleeves, and like an air fryer. Bro, it's not worth it. This game is overly too expensive. Too expensive. I've got the deck I run mainly physical wise, which is my favorite deck, and many reasons, because one, I like the lore, which is getting anime soon. I like the art. I like the way the deck plays, which is branded. I think branded's such a good deck. I think it's a balanced deck. It's a fair deck. It's a fun deck. I run it with Despia. I run it with a little bit of a Diabell Star engine, which those cards are expensive too, but I got lucky and pulled them in quarter first packs. I run a Dragoon engine inside of it as well, like a little package, like a Dark Magician, a Magician's Soul, the Chaos of Illusion, or whatever it's called. I run that in it too, but that deck overall, it's way on the cheaper end. I think it cost me like maybe close to like $200 total with the extra deck, which is what a lot of your money is going to go towards, is your extenders and your extra deck. In terms of any viable deck, which a branded deck currently is a viable deck. But it's insane, these prices. It's hard for people to get into the game. The only people that can actually afford these decks are people that play it professionally and for a living, which is far and few between, because like I said earlier, the prize winnings from these Yu-Gi-Oh! YCSs and all that stuff, it's not worth the money at all. So you pretty much have to be a content creator at this point to make the money to be able to invest in these cards. But it really turns off the casual player, because a lot of these decks are just so out of reach for most people that have a day job, that have real life, and it's not worth it, and it's just irritating. The only deck that you come to mind you can play competitively in a tournament setting right now is the new Blue Eye structure decks, which I still have yet to get because they're sold out everywhere, because people are taking advantage of it, and I don't blame them whatsoever. At the bare minimum, $40 for 3 copies of the deck to be able to have a good deck to run competitively, which is pretty good in Yu-Gi-Oh! Standards. But you compare the prices of competitive decks and what you have to pay to get those compared to like Pokemon competitive decks, like it's ridiculously cheaper. And not just that, like even One Piece trading card game, like the decks are ridiculously cheaper. Now Magic, that's another story. I've heard different things. I've heard those cards are very expensive too. I don't know much about Magic and I've tried it, but I think it comes down to the reason why I think I'm done buying cards to play decks physically when I don't even go to locals. There's not very many locals around my area for Yu-Gi-Oh! And if there was, I probably still wouldn't go because I'm just not a social person. But I mainly just play with my friends at either of our houses. We get together and play the cards. So at this point, what I've done now, instead of all of us spending money on these decks that are expensive where we just play like once every few months, I've just resorted to printing proxies for a whole deck. It's fun, it's cheaper, I get to play whatever we want. We can play whatever we want. I hate that it's come to that because I want to play the actual cards. I want to have the actual cards, but if I want to play like Azumina White Forest, I'm just going to print the deck out and proxy it to play with my friends. Because it's just cheaper in the long run, and I still get to enjoy the cards. But I just wanted to rant a little bit about the price when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just insane. You go on TCG Player and you look at these top decks for competitive, and it's just not worth it. And a lot of these decks are in the $500, $600 range, aren't even topping their regionals, so they're coming like 5th to 6th place, which is, geez, like that's not what I want this deck for. If I want to compete, I actually want to win. But yeah, the card prices Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just insane. I just want to talk about it and rant about it. It's insane, and I think something needs to be done about it. Third-party markets has been ridiculous in terms of trying to build sufficient decks, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Itself, when it comes to its releases, isn't helping at all either. The packs themselves aren't expensive, but it's just the drawing out of them, like the pools you want to get, like you're so low, especially in the last, I think was especially in the Dueling Mirrors 10 that came out, dude, there were so many cards, like good luck pulling what you needed. It's insane. I finally gave up trying to get a Guiding Quim, and I just ordered one online to finish my branded deck, and it was irritating because it was like $25 to buy one card. And I think after I bought that card, I said, never again will I do this. But yeah, that's all I want to rant about. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you play Yu-Gi-Oh!, what do you think with card prices? Do you think the card prices are too high? If you don't, and you just play like online, would you ever be convinced to come back to Yu-Gi-Oh! If the card prices were lower? Other than that, that's all I got for y'all. Peace. Have a nice day.